Well, let's get straight into it because Orly Goldschmidt is the spokeswoman for the Embassy of Israel to the United Kingdom. Orly, good evening. Thank you for speaking to me this evening. Just tell me about the condition of those people who have been so cruelly and attacked in this horribly racist, anti-Semitic way by those pro-Palestinian activists and thugs in Amsterdam.
Yeah, good evening, Peter. Indeed, what happened yesterday evening was shocking. We really see this as a modern pogrom. Hundreds of Israelis were harassed. Many of them were beaten. And, you know, I'm sure you've seen the videos on the social media, but you see people asking, are you Jew? Are you a Jew? And then really beating them. That was an organized crime, and there were Israelis that were injured, severely injured, but thank God now they're out of hospital, and Israel has been sending airplanes in order to bring those Israelis safely back home because they were so scared of what happened in the streets. You know, they just went to cheer at the football game, and when they were out, this premeditated organization was just waiting for them. And as you see, it's really frightening and scary images that I didn't think I would see in the streets of Europe in 2024.
That is something a lot of people have said to us, that they're really concerned that this could happen in London, in Birmingham, in Manchester, wherever in the United Kingdom. And a lot of people worrying, and I'm one of them, that it is a question of this wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when and where. Are you honestly very surprised to see that this has happened, because there's been so much anti-Semitism, especially since the Hamas terrorist attacks on the 7th of October 2023?
Well, you know, what I can say is that when you hear people chanting and for globalizing the Intifada, they mean this. And we need to be very careful when we let people sing those chants, and when we let them, you know, speak freely and incite for hatred, because after that you get those kinds of events. People are scared for their lives because of their identity. And today it's an attack against Jews. Tomorrow can be an attack against another minority. So I really believe we have to stand together against this jihadi way of thinking, and we have to be to wake up.
There will be many people who will act entirely peacefully and have on many of the pro-Palestinian marches in London. There's another one tomorrow. Do you think those marches should be banned? Because there are some people on them, certainly, who are breaking the law. And do you think that in the UK, having lived here, knowing what the Metropolitan Police are doing and other police forces, are they doing all they can to protect people, and specifically protect Jewish people and indeed people who may be Israeli living in the UK?
Well, I think people should be able to protest if they want, but it has to be according to some specific rules. I think people should not feel intimidated in the street. They should not be calls for violence, calls for globalization of jihad. And, you know, that chant of from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, is a call to genocide, to kill, to murder the Jews. Where should the Jews go if from the river to the sea everything has been taken away from us? So I think it really depends on what people are saying. And as you said, most of the people walk completely silently, and it's something that needs to be taken care of. And I know that the Met Police is looking at those events, and I know that they're taking those incidents seriously. And we trust the Met Police to do their job the best way possible, so that there wouldn't be calls for globalization of the Intifada and to incite people to hatred.
What do you make of the reporting and the allegations around some of the Israeli fans perhaps tearing down PLO, Palestinian flags and so on, perhaps shouting some things that they perhaps shouldn't have been doing? Nothing, of course, in any way justifies the attacks on them or other completely innocent people. But I just wonder, when people say there are two sides to what happened in Amsterdam, what your reaction to that is.
Well, we condemned calls for violence, like I condemned earlier calls for globalizing the Intifada, or for violence against anyone. But like you said, I don't think we can compare those events. That's two completely different events. You have, on one side, people saying things that they shouldn't be saying. On the other side, you have people taking the streets with knives and beating others, and really, really. I mean, I can see the videos being physically violent against people. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, as a representative of Israel, as the spokeswoman for the Embassy of Israel, where the line is, I suppose, between people who have legitimate criticisms of what they would see as legitimate criticisms of what your government is doing, the actions in Gaza, the fact that there are many innocent people dying and they feel there shouldn't be. And where is the line between talking about that, making representation, protesting in some way, and actually being anti-Israel as a state or anti-Semitic within that?
Well, you know that Israelis themselves are open for criticism, and we are a vibrant democracy with a lot of protests within the country. And it's not about protesting for an idea. It's about the sentences and the words you're using. And like I said, you have people that are openly supporting Hamas. There are people that are cheering up for what happened on the 7th of October. These are kinds of sentences and incitement that I don't think are acceptable. That's where the line, the limit should be, in my opinion.
We know that Donald Trump is now the president-elect of the United States. Do you think that will help in any way in terms of the end of the war in the Middle East and getting those hostages back?
Israel and the United States have a very strong relationship and a strong friendship. I'm hoping that with President Trump's support, we'll be able to put more pressure on Hamas to release our hostages. It's been more than a year that we still have 101 hostages there in the dungeon of Hamas, and I do hope that there will be an ending for their suffering and for the suffering in Gaza, for the suffering in Israel. Yeah, so I really hope so.
Orly Goldschmidt, thank you very much indeed. Orly is the spokeswoman for the Embassy of Israel to the UK.